Hello, welcome to Rednex Reviews. We're here in the old review room with the core, just like the old videos. So
the best videos.
Yep. Now today we're going to be talking just a general chat about DVDs, VHS, Blu-ray, our memories of it. This isn't a factual thing about the history of it. It's not a history lesson. It's just our thoughts and memories of different formats.
Yeah, just like being around for the rise of these different formats, really.
Because we're, 36, 37 now, and when we were kids, we grew up with videotapes being sort of the main thing. VHS in particular.
Well, I can still remember, and I was really young at this point, seeing... I don't think it was videotape, I think it would have been Betamax.
Betamax, yeah, it's still videotape. It was just...
it kind of different one because it was like really big. So I remember it like seeing this thing as like, oh, it's He-Man on it, like some kind of cassette. You know, can't I get that for the car? And they're like, no, it's a video, you can't have it.
Or you thought it was an audio
Yeah,
cassette.
I thought it was like an audio cassette because I was used to get to listen to like... I used to have tons of audio cassettes and things like
there is literally a He-Man cassette there, that red one. How mental's that?
Way! now
that?
I know what happened to my He-Man Castle Grayskull tape. You thieving
How
shit.
bizarre is that? You mentioned one of those and there's like one just down there. Well, there's some like random stuff. These are all cassettes that I found.
Yeah.
And,
Trapdoor, no!
no! There's a twofer down there. Oh, God.
No!
Traumatic memories for the buff.
But yeah, I remember like asking for it. My parents were like trying to explain to me what they were, and I just had no concept. I was that young at the time.
I remember something similar because there used to be a guy that would come round. You know, like you have like Milkman and stuff that comes round, and they have like they do deliveries. There was a guy who used to park up like once a week on a Friday, and you'd go out and visit him, and he had a van with a load of tapes in, and it was like the film rental basically, but like a mobile one that went round. And I remember they had, I think it was Back to the Future 2, but it was only on Betamax, so we couldn't rent it. And I don't think at that point I'd seen the film. I think it was like brand new out. And I remember being like gutted because it was like, why would you have it on like tape, like one that we can't play? And I was like 9 or something, if that, 8 or 9 at the time. That's my earliest memory of there being Betamax and VHS. But that died a death, did Betamax.
Yeah, so I'm always like... wary of some of these new formats they come out with until they've been out a little while, because it's like, is this going to be the new Betamax? Is it going to be around for a little bit and then just fucking disappear in a puff of smoke?
Well, there always is that concern. It's like, for example, there's UHD, which is 4K. I've got one here, for example.
Yeah, because wasn't there something like a step between that? Because they have like the red thing along them, like some kind of... It's not 4K, it was something before that.
I don't know. Well, there was like... Blu-ray, standard Blu-rays, when they came out about just a bit over 10 years ago in the UK, there was Blu-ray and there was high definition DVD.
I think that might be what I'm thinking of, high definition DVD.
I think they were sort of like a sort of crimson colour, the cases.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, so that was a fair while ago, but the HD DVD kind of went nowhere and Blu-ray was the dominant thing. I think that was because of the PlayStation 3 compatibility with Blu-rays. It just kind of gave them the edge.
That was definitely a selling point with me for the PlayStation. But anyway, let's go back to tapes. But yeah, they were kind of a weird thing because it's kind of weird just to have like a huge collections of tapes of just things you'd recorded off TV. Like this is kind of before even the concept of like Sky On Demand or Sky Q and all that sort of stuff, where you could just record stuff on your Skybox or download it off the internet. If you wanted something like the X-Files or something, you'd have to record it, try and edit out the adverts, and then just like... I mean, we used to have like cabinets full of videotapes at one point.
Yeah, we had so many. We bought a lot of videos, but we also used to record them. And there was standard play and long play, wasn't there?
It's triple play as well.
Yeah, or EP extended play.
Because my dad, being a stubborn old bastard, is still trying to get tapes that are in capable of triple play because he refuses to get rid of his like.
Is it? Your dad's still using VHS? Oh,
yeah, apparently there are some old people who just like absolutely cannot. Like, no, I'm not giving up video. It's like it's gone. It's done.
It's
okay?
15 years gone.
There is like a bit of a cottage market for it amongst people, but it's like.
I think Boys, the shop Boys in the UK, it's like a sort of cheap shop. I think they do still sell videotapes, and probably for that reason.
Yeah, they tend to be a bit crap though, the kind of Sony ones.
Yeah. But going back with tapes, obviously you'd buy them and there was always if you rented them, there was an issue with people rewinding tapes or not rewinding tapes.
Oh God!
You've got a bit of a memory of watching Scream 2, I seem to remember.
Got the tape, and I got some in a rush to see it because Scream 2 was like massive at that point, like the Scream franchise in general. I'd seen the first one at the cinema at, I think I went to fucking Plaza, to be honest. I was that young, that was the only real option. Like going to like Leeds or Bradford to see something at the cinema was just not even into my fucking like options at that point. But yeah, the second one I'd wait until it came out on tape.
VHS.
Rented it from Global Videos, long since fucking dead. Yeah, got it home, slipped it in the machine, like hit play. Some bastard had left it literally at the point where it revealed like who the killer was.
Bastard.
Yeah, I mean to be honest, it was a few. It wasn't you.
It was me.
It was like only a few seconds before I realised what's happening, so it didn't completely spoil it for me because I could have stopped it right away. But I was like, you bastards. And also lazy cunts at the video store are supposed to check stuff like that before they rent it back out to people.
Brilliant. But yeah, so that was like tapes. Plenty of memories there. We could talk all day about that. But yeah, the one good thing, obviously, we used to have a library of things that you would record. Took up a lot of space. So, I mean, one of the advantages of going digital nowadays is obviously it frees you up a lot of shelf space. I used to have... I think it was like something like Xena Warrior Princess, something shit like that. Yeah, those ones that Topher didn't steal.
Yeah, they took up literally like half a season would be a box set this big, like long and like this big, kind of the other way. They would literally take up most of your shelf, and you were looking at absolutely ridiculous prices for them back in those days.
Well, yeah, when they brought out things like the X-Files on tape, some of them you'd get like 2 episodes on a tape and it'd be £15 for 2 episodes. Contrast that now where you can get like an entire series of like 24 episodes for like £7 sometimes. Bizarre, you know.
I also used to remember having the Chronicles of Narnia like collection that they did from the BBC. Yeah,
that was pretty good to be fair. I wouldn't knock you for that.
Oh no, I mean, I'm just saying like things I can remember as a kid. I remember having that. I can also remember, if you remember this, Brave Star.
Eyes of the Hawk is... No, was it not Eyes of the Hawk?
Yeah, it's Eyes of the... Hawk, like Speed of the Puma. Yeah.
Puma, yeah.
Yeah.
Eyes of the Hawk, Speed of the Puma.
It's like basically space, Native American lawman.
Yeah.
I remember I used to have like the pilot episodes of that.
Oh, yeah.
On video.
Yeah. But then tapes obviously kind of died a death when DVDs came out, and I got my first DVD player. It was Boxing Day '99, and it cost me £270, and there wasn't much choice back then when you bought films.
Yeah, because you had the film Out of Sight, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think Out of Sight was the first DVD I ever bought.
Yeah,
good film.
George Clooney and
Jennifer Lopez. Yeah. And I think I got The Matrix and
I know that was another reason why I just say tape is dead. I mean, yes, you've got the advantage of you can record shit off the TV and keep it if you're really that anal about keeping stuff. Nature documentaries and other stuff all people fucking watch. But yeah, just like the difference between like tape to video was just night and day. I mean, I don't necessarily notice it quite the same when it's like DVD to Blu-ray. It's like I can notice the difference, but it's not as dramatic. But going from tape to DVD was just like, this is like ahead.
And you didn't need.
This is a game changer.
Well, that's the thing, because when I upgraded from DVD to Blu-ray at first, and if you watch a lot of my older reviews, I was like saying, the Blu-ray is not as there's not a negligible difference because they had not as good a TV. But it's when you've got a massive TV you can tell the difference. Whereas with tapes to DVD. It was a massive leap. You didn't need to have a decent
because it was only the small TV in your room, wasn't it?
With no special surround sound system. It was a mono TV, and the sound quality was way different, And
I remember another thing about the coming of DVD, which I think really put a nail in tape's coffin, was usually when you had videotape, you would have it come out of the cinema, then you'd have to wait a good... half a year or something?
Yeah, up to a year in some cases.
There was a period where things would come out sooner on satellite. Because I can remember watching Batman, the original, and this was way before it came out on tape and I was too young to have seen it at the cinema. And I remember seeing a good chunk of that around at somebody else's house, posh, friends of a relative type thing.
Yeah, because I think that from cinema to Sky back in the day, I think it used to be about a year.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure.
I know it was just before it had actually come out on rental. Now, I don't know if that was just like a special deal they had, because I know it was like a really new thing with Sky at the time.
Could have been, yeah.
But yeah, I clearly remember that because I was like, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah. Well, I've only got about 3 minutes left anyway. So,
But yeah, when you'd go from, you'd have to wait for it to come out on rental with the tapes. And then you'd have to wait even longer before it finally came out to buy.
Yeah.
Now, DVDs would come out...
Straight to buy.
Yeah.
There was no waiting.
There was no, like, it's out to rent, but you've got to wait another few months before.
Yeah.
It was like usually about 6 months, wasn't it? It was
Yeah.
a fair wait between rental and...
Well, I remember when Lethal Weapon 4 came out, you couldn't buy it on tape, but you could buy it on DVD. You could rent it on tape or buy it on DVD, and that was a big selling point to me, was that.
Well, I can remember, was it Enemy of the State?
Enemy of the State was another one, yeah. Late 98 films. Yeah, so that would be about right.
It's like you were waiting quite a while for tape, but DVD instantly.
Yeah.
Which was another reason, like, well, why are we bothering with these?
Yeah.
Plus, DVD, you could also play it on your PlayStation 2.
Yeah,
it's another big selling point with the PlayStation 2. It's like, right, I don't have to get a separate video player for this, basically.
Yeah. And so now we've got the leap. And we ignore the 3D thing, that's kind of gimmicky, but I suppose you could say that was another evolution of it, but it's just gone. They've kind of wiped it out in a lot of ways. Nobody really wants it nowadays. But 4K, UHD, and obviously digital downloads and streaming is also a massive factor now.
Again, it's like a further cut down of that waiting time. You don't even have to like wait for your local store to like decide to stock whatever you're after. You can just get it.
We can't even rely on them to get them in at all where we live.
There are times that things will hit stuff like Amazon Instant and stuff a few days to a week before you can get a physical copy of it anywhere.
Yeah, or even more in some cases. I think.
So I think that's how I ended up with Captain America Civil War. I just got it on digital.
Yeah, I think you got that sort of the week before it.
Because I was that like, I need to watch it now.
Oh, Winter Soldier, wasn't it? I think.
Winter Soldier,
yeah,
not Civil War.
But yeah, so that's a few memories anyway of these things, and I don't know if you got any thoughts on that. Leave some in the comments. We might do a further like follow up video maybe on this, maybe a bit less. Just throw out a load of memories, but I thought it was something interesting to talk about. So. Yeah, I guess we can leave it there. Anything else?
No, that's about it. Like I said, it's weird to be... I mean, we're not, like, ancient or anything, but just the changes that, like, have happened, like, just in our, like, limited lifespan. Of, like, all these different, like, formats rising, like, going away. It's, like, some of the things we put up with, like, when we were still kids, you would not even dream of today. If somebody said, all right, it's coming out of the cinema, but you're going to have to wait at least a year before you can even rent it. Not buy it, just rent it. You know, you'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, I'll let you knock the thing off. Cheers. See you next time.